Started. So my name is Chris Sander, and I am the Contract Unit Supervisor for La Crosse County Human Services. Again, welcome to our all vendor meeting, July 9th, 2024. What we are going to be doing is going around and doing introductions. As I said, we have a lot of new vendors on here this time. So I just want to welcome everybody. I think this is a great forum for us to get together. Many years ago, before COVID, we used to all get together in our basement auditorium, and only a small portion of who is here today was there. But not everybody could make it because everybody had to have travel time in their schedules and be able to do that. So this virtual meeting has been a wonderful thing. And we have people from all over the state of Wisconsin, outside of Wisconsin, on today. So welcome. And I appreciate all of your RSVPs. I know the link is out there. It's easier for us to get through introductions if I know the agencies that are here. And I'm not sure how the link is working now, but it didn't always work that great in the beginning when we first started using Teams. So it's good for me to send out the actual meeting notice. So thank you for all your RSVPs. So what we're going to do is probably for the first half hour or so, it's probably going to take a little longer today, is we're going to go through the internal staff first. And I know we have quite a few on here. And then I will go alphabetically by vendor for you to introduce yourself. If you have numerous people with your agency, if just one of you wants to take the lead, or you could all introduce yourselves. And then if you have any events coming up, any special announcements, feel free to do it at that time. Also, if you're new here, if you could just introduce your agency and what services you're providing. It's just good for the vendor network to know our new vendors coming in and what type of services you provide. So with that, I'm going to pass it to my contract unit. So I have 3 staff in the contract unit. So we'll do Paul, Tiffany, and Cindy.
Hi, everyone. I'm Paul Menninger. I'm one of the contract specialists with La Crosse County.
Hi, everybody. I'm Tiffany Cornell. I'm also one of the contract specialists here with La Crosse County.
Hi, I'm Cindy Werschke. I am the contract unit clerk. I'm the one that sends you your contracts to sign and asks for those documents to get sent back to me. Thanks.
And then we do have Zach from our Aging and Disability Resource Center. Zach, could you introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm Zach Trebelhorn. I'm a supervisor with the Aging and Disability Resource Center. I more specifically supervise adult protective services and dementia care specialists, working with a variety of corporate guardian entities.
How about our ISRS staff taking turns?
Sure. Ryan Ross. I am one of the program supervisors for the Comprehensive Community Services Program, so CCS.
I am Sarah Moore-Shelter. I am one of the other CCS program administrative supervisors.
Good morning. I'm Ellen Doppert. I'm one of the CCS supervisors as well, and also work with the CLTS program with the youth.
Hi, I'm Shelly Tellefson. I'm one of the CLTS supervisors and the Birth to 3 coordinator.
Hi, I'm Christy Harold. I'm the quality assurance supervisor. The quality assurance staff actually process all the CCS billing.
I'm Annalise Trinka. I'm a program specialist, so I process a lot of vendor documents, credentialing new providers and training logs and that type of thing.
Do we have any other internal staff or any partner county staff, Monroe or Jackson counties, on at all? Okay. We will start going alphabetically by vendor then, who is RSVP'd. If you get skipped at the end, I kind of ask you to raise your hand and we'll do an introductions from there. But Adams and Associates. I know I saw Sue on. Okay. AJ Falkers.
I'm Amanda with AJ Falkers Counseling and Consulting Services. I am the owner and one of the primary therapists on staff.
Active.
Tyler Stapleton here, CFO. We do youth services, adult services, employment, so lots of different things.
Anyone else?
Youth Services Manager at Active.
Attic.
Hi, I'm Carla
I'm
Campion
Mark
with Attic
Wakefield.
Correctional Services.
Okay, we have Mark and Carla on.
Thanks, Chris.
Bethany St. Joe's.
Hi, I'm Karen Sepich, and I'm the Vice President for Community Services.
Brave Spaces.
Good morning. I'm Nicole Millerin, the co-owner and clinical therapist at Brave Spaces Counseling and Wellness in La Crosse and Sparta.
Rodelac.
Hi, this is Lindsay Farrell Goback, COO with Rodelac. We serve adults in residential settings.
Catholic Charities of La Crosse.
My name is Olivia. I'm the community-based coordinator for our Live By program. And then we also work on one-on-one in the community with ISDE and wellness.
CC We Adapt.
My name is David Carlson. I'm one of the co-owners at CC We Adapt. We do peer support, individual skill development and enhancement, psychotherapy, psychoeducation for both youth and adults.
My name is Thomas Sampson with CC We Adapt. I handle a lot of the contracting and outreach and all that good stuff.
And I'm Eli Tripp, running out this full house at CC We Adapt, and I also work with contracting and outreach, as well as mentorship.
Okay. Changing Lanes Wellness.
Good morning. My name is Cheryl Killeley, and I am a returning provider, actually, or vendor. I was previously known as Changing Lanes Fitness and Nutrition, where I offered trauma-based yoga and training. And now I'm coming back as a provider offering nutritional coaching, meal plans, working with consumers on nutritional behaviors and making some changes there. So happy to be back.
Chalita.
Hi, my name is Kay Lissick, and I'm a mental health therapist at Chalita Shine. And we serve children with behavioral and mental health needs in our community.
Crimson Hound.
Hi, I'm Carrie Hoare with Crimson Hound. I do kids age 6 and up and adults canine assisted skill building services, working with clients with their own pets in their home.
Deer Path.
Hi, I'm Erica with Deer Path Integrated. We provide CCS services for in residential and community as well.
And I am Patty. I'm the administrator for Deer Path.
Driftless Aspiring Youth.
Hi, my name is Kaylee Kohlhauer. I am the founder of Driftless Aspiring Youth, and I work with youth and young adults in the community to build life skills.
Easter Seals, Wisconsin.
Hi, I'm Callie. I'm from Easter Seals Southeast Wisconsin. We're that's two different organizations. So just so you get the Southeast in
Thank
there,
you.
we're based out of Milwaukee, and we have an employee that's in the La Crosse area providing guardianship services.
Essential Skills.
Hello, my name is Bill Humphrey. My agency is Essential Skills Peer Support. I do wellness management, independent living skills, and psychoeducation. My background is in wilderness therapy, so I do nature immersion, and I work with youth and young adults and adults.
Family and Children's Center.
Hi, I'm Monica Hauser from Family and Children's Center. I'm the CFO. So I don't know if anybody else is on from here, but we do a variety of mental health services for kids and adults.
Thank you. Fox.
Hello, this is Kim Johnson from Flox Guardians, and I also have Renee Quillman on and Rochelle Lee. And we work with adults and kids primarily in Monroe County.
Flying Horse.
Hi, I'm Lisa Carmichael. We do therapeutic equine learning activities for youth, and good to see you all.
Grace Counseling and Family Services.
Hi, my name is Casey Lombard. I'm our CCS director. We have a location in New Lisbon and also in Reedsburg. We provide CCS services for a variety of counties. We primarily focus on ISDE and psychotherapy, as well as some facilitation for other counties.
Healing Pathways.
Hi, I'm Olivia Ham. I'm the only one with the company. I'm a psychotherapist, so that's mainly what I do. I also do some psychoeducation and mostly in Jackson County.
Thank you. Ignited.
Hi, my name is Rachel Azroff. I'm the COO of Ignited. We are a telehealth platform that provides both mental health and substance use recovery services, and we're part of CCS, and we're currently working on launching with some youth in the CCS program.
Innovative Services.
I'm Nicole with Innovative Services. I am the service coordinator. We support youth and adults, and then we also offer wellness, individual skills, and medication management.
I'm Vanessa Hudson with Innovative Services, CCS administrator. We have CCS programs across the state of Wisconsin, and here Nicole kind of gave you the overview. We work with youth and adult doing skills, medication management, and wellness.
Ironwood Springs Christian Ranch. JTC Academy. Jubilee.
Hi, my name is Kim. I am owner operator of Jubilee. We do music therapy. We are a new provider, and one advantage that we have is that we come to you. So we're not expecting clients to come to us. That's a little different than what most music therapists do.
I do see Stacy on from JTC. Were you able to unmute? Oh, she's waving. Okay. All right. L&P Services.
Hi, I'm Lisa with L&P Services, owner and operator. Out of Monroe County, we do CCS and CLTS mainly with kiddos, but we're also authorized for adults for mentoring daily living skills. Also getting into, hopefully by fall, transportation and parenting, mentoring for parents.
Lakeville Hillview. Mastering Life Skills.
Hi, I am Stacy from Mastering Life Skills. We work hand in hand with CCS and then CLTS, and our main focus is ISDE and then health and wellness.
Milkweed Connections.
Hi, I'm Kim, and I'm the referrals admin, and we work in a 14 county area providing CCS and other services to all ages.
Mission Respite.
Good morning. I am Heather Tyler, founder of Mission Respite, and we are a CLTS non-medical respite provider.
Parenting Peer.
Hi, I'm Bailey. I started Parenting Peer. We offer certified parent peer support, which includes psychoeducation, skills, and wellness.
Peace of Mind.
Good morning, everyone. This is Jay Clark at Peace of Mind Counseling. I can't seem to get my camera to work, but we're psychotherapy providers in La Crosse, Monroe, Jackson, and Trempealeau counties.
Person First. Christy might not be on yet. I saw her just accept, so I threw her in there. Reflective Counseling.
Hi, I'm Kenzie Fox with Reflective Counseling, and I provide mental health counseling services to adolescents and adults in La Crosse.
Soaring Skills.
Hi, this is Mike Elliott and Casey Moran with Soaring Skills. We do individual skill development and enhancement, both in individual and group settings. We do psychoeducation through the CLTS program. We do non-paid parent and caregiver support, daily living skills, and health and wellness. And we also are in charge of the B3 program for Vernon County.
Special Needs Consulting.
Hi, I'm Natasha Pedretti, owner and provider of Special Needs Consulting. I'm a CLTS provider. I provide in-home weekly daily living skill and parent training services in La Crosse and Trempealeau counties.
Stein Counseling.
Hi, I'm Beth Chapman from Stein Counseling. We also have Brittany, Kathy, and Kim on with us, but the main program that we wanted to promote was our Regulated and Resilient program, which is a free dance movement therapy program for veterans. So,
yeah. Success for Life.
Hello, hi everyone. My name is Catherine from Success for Life. We are based out of Wisconsin. No, we're not. I'm in a meeting in Wisconsin. We're based out of Colorado. I'm sorry. That's where we started. And we also provide services in, we're working with Puerto Rico, which I'm physically located at the moment. And we were in New York, so we provide individual skill development services, employment related skills, wellness management, recovery services, both to adults and youth. At the moment, we have a little bit of a pause. We're waiting to onboard, hopefully within another week in La Crosse County, but we also do have other counties we've been working with. I have my little notes here. So we do work in facilities very similar to Colorado, wherever pretty much the youth and or adult feels comfortable, whether it's in facilities, their homes, libraries, residential homes, again, whichever is most comfortable. And we were based out of Colorado. That's where it all started. And now we're here in Wisconsin.
Thank you. The Good Fight Club?
Hi, we are Amanda, Foreman Home Guard, and
Eugene Shields, Student Behavior Specialist.
and I'm the Executive Director. We provide skills building, academic support, and enrichment programming for youth in the greater La Crosse area, ages 10 to 18.
The Parenting Place?
Hi, I'm Susan Fossen, and I supervise the Children with Special Needs programs here at the Parenting Place, including our family peer support specialists who work with waiver and CCS. Amy Louise Magnuson is also with us. And then joining us, Marilyn Huckenpohler and Jody Wiedoff as well.
Thank you. Three Willows Equine?
Hello, I'm Angie Hart with Three Willows Equine. I provide services for CCS and CLTS. I'm located about 20 miles north of Holmen in Arcadia, and my program focuses on horsemanship with for individual skill development, enhancement, and health and wellness. And then I also have some other animals here to use, and I am contracted in both La Crosse and Trempealeau County.
Trailways Counseling?
Hi there, I'm Angie Grogan. I'm a partner and director of operations at Trailways. We provide CCS services mainly for 7 counties in Wisconsin. We do provide outpatient services as well. For CCS, we provide ISDE, psychoeducation, and psychotherapy mainly.
Trinity Equestrian?
Hi, I am Cheyenne from Trinity. I'm one of the managers here. We offer services for both CCS and CLTS for both youth and adults.
United Cerebral Palsy of West Central Wisconsin.
Hi, I'm Jenny Chaput, Community Services Director for UCP of West Central Wisconsin. We provide a variety of youth and adult services throughout multiple counties.
VARC.
Hello, everyone. I am Shelby Neubauer. I'm the Director of Client Services here at VARC. We provide CCS and CLTS services throughout several different counties in Wisconsin.
Wisconsin Family Ties.
Hi, I'm Hosmic Tempesta, and I'm our Chief Program Officer. We're currently providing parent peer support services, but we're looking to expand.
YWCA.
Good morning. My name is Kelly Anderson. I am the Director of Business and Finance for YWCA La Crosse. And we do supportive housing, restorative justice programming, and child care.
I'm going to go back up to Adams and Associates. I see Susan doesn't have a camera, but got her mic working.
Hopefully the mic is working. Thanks for your patience. I'm not sure what's going on with the camera. But we provide WATS reviews, which are annual reviews of people in protective placement. And the one announcement I guess I want to make is that we just recognized 3 of our staff for being with the agency from its beginning, which has now been 15 years.
Nice. Okay. We have Rocky Hill.
Hi, I am Michelle Utes from Rocky Hill Parent Peer Specialists. I'm the owner and director, and we provide parent peer support as well as peer support to families, parents, and then as peer support children or adults in any of the counties And I live in River Falls, but I have team members that are closer to La Crosse, Monroe, and Jackson counties.
Thank you. All right, anyone else that I didn't get a chance to introduce themselves that wants to, if you could raise your hand and then I'll call anyone at a time. Sarah Eklund.
Good morning. I'm Sarah Eklund. I'm the director with Independent Living Resources in La Crosse, and we serve 13 counties in Southwest Wisconsin.
Strides Equestrian.
Hello, my name is Heidi Lenz, and I'm the administrator here at Strides Equestrian Therapeutic Center. And we work with both youth and adult. We provide equine assisted services, yoga wellness, art wellness, and skill development.
Thank you. Life and Harmony.
Hey everyone, I'm Amy Schuck. I'm a board certified music therapist and owner operator at Life in Harmony. We're a CLTS provider offering counseling and therapeutic services. And then we also work with the CCS program with wellness and music therapy. We're proud to be entering our 16th year of business in the La Crosse area. And our main goal this year is to increase our team member size closer to that number of 16 so we can expand our reach. We're based out of West Salem, and then we travel to outreach in Toma, Black River Falls, and Viroqua. We have a mobile music therapy studio, and then we also do in-home supports as needed.
Thank you. Person first.
Hi, this is Christy Brownrider. I'm going to leave my camera off because we are currently doing programming and I have participants by me. But Person First Supportive Services, I'm the co-owner as well as assistant director. We provide CCS and waiver services to kiddos and families. We offer a 10-week summer camp, which we're currently doing right now, group homes, and then residential living support and transitional housing, as well as mentoring and peer support.
Thank you. Janine Busa.
Hi, I'm Janine. I'm the clinical director for Trailhead Therapy and Mentoring. We work with children, adults, and families in the CCS program, and we work in 8 different counties.
Thank you. Joe Ludovice.
Hi, I'm Joe Ludovice. I'm with the CIT program through Tellurian. We provide ISDE and wellness for CCS.
Nicole Gunderson.
Hi, we are a new vendor for La Crosse. I'm with the Eau Claire Cruisers. We're out of Eau Claire. We do a lot of work out of Chippewa County right now. We provide adult and youth services within the community, both direct care and respite care.
Thank you. Elaine. This says Elaine. All right, Philomena.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. So I'm a live-by coordinator working with the Catholic Charities for mental health illness. So we just opened a house at Hoshla Drive, and I'm the coordinator there.
Thank you. Okay. I think we'll get on with the agenda then. The first thing on the agenda is requests for proposals. And so what we do is we just kind of do a summary of the requests for proposals that we will be releasing over the next few months before our November meeting. And there are a few. I am actually going to handle the Senior Life newspaper. I'm not sure that there would be any providers on here, but just to we just want to kind of give a summary. Once the RFP or preferred provider process starts, we have other meetings that specifically have to do with that. This is just kind of to give everybody a heads up that it's coming, when to look for it, and if you have any questions or if you're interested, you can reach out to me and I will be able to just inform you that it's being released and that type of stuff. So that's kind of the purpose of reviewing these in this meeting. So the first one is our Senior Life. It's a newspaper that is produced monthly. We send about 4,800 copies out each month to the La Crosse community. It provides local seniors with information and updates from the aging unit. So health and wellness, caregiver resources and information, local events, other senior programming, and then also the senior nutrition program menus is what it shares. The current printer also has created an electronic flip book file, which is on our website. And provides audio content to ensure accessibility for all readers. So that is something newer that we've had in the last year with them. So we are releasing that RFP, hoping to release that by the end of July. So if for some reason you are interested in putting together a newspaper, let me know and I can let you know when that is released and that process has started. The next one, is there any questions with that? Okay, so the next one on our agenda is Corporate Guardians, and I'm going to have Zach kind of give a summary of the services, and then I'll cover some of the other things.
Hello, everybody. I'm Zach Troublehorn again with ADRC and Adult Protective Services. Talking about corporate guardianships in La Crosse here, at any given time, La Crosse County holds about 800 total guardianships through our clerk of courts, about 400 of which also include protective placement. And we receive kind of varying numbers of referrals each month throughout the year, but it is a constant flow of new guardianships and court processes coming our way. The role of a guardian is not, direct cares or caregiving, but it's a lot to do with advocacy, being a health champion, financial protector, and an everyday partner within the services that the individual under guardianship is in need of. So healthcare advocacy, coordinating medical care, ensuring access to appropriate treatments, medications, advocating for the best interest of the individual within all aspects of their healthcare. Being a financial protector, managing the finances, protecting assets, ensuring immediate financial obligation, bills are paid, and making investment decisions or property decisions if that falls, in the scenario of the individual that is under guardianship. It's also an aspect of personal care advocacy, approving appropriate housing, overseeing, advocating daily care needs, and also managing and advocating for healthy social connections of that individual, working within often a service provider that is working in conjunction to establish some of those services. Beyond that, there is some aspect of legal representation, protecting the individual's rights, advocating for the individual, making legal decisions on their behalf if needed to do so. La Crosse County we will seek family, loved ones, so people within that individual in need of guardianship support network first. So first choice would always be essentially a volunteer guardian who is close to that individual and who is believed to, be in a position to make the best interest decisions for that individual. However, that's not always the case. So we will seek out corporate guardians in the event that the individual in need of guardianship lacks, a suitable individual that could play the role of a guardian. No family that's willing to become guardian, no supports or other friends or family or people that are, logically able to make best interest decisions for that individual. Sometimes there's a conflict of interest, there's competing interests or disagreements within a couple different family members, or there are some history within a support person where we believe there could be an avenue of exploitation or reason to believe that those best interests won't be attended to. And there's also scenarios where there's a question of continuity of care. Is there stability and long-term viability within a family or volunteer guardian? Are there health concerns that would prevent next of kin or mother or somebody from being a long-term guardian? And so those sometimes are communicated, and we may seek a corporate guardian if there are, if there's a belief that the longevity of the direct volunteer guardian wouldn't be long-term. The corporate guardians play a vital role within the work that we do, providing essential support for vulnerable individuals within La Crosse County. And it's, being there to be an advocate for that person, providing compassionate care and being a partner with the individual and the service providers that are serving that individual.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, and with that, we are switching. We've always done a preferred provider solicitation for this group of providers. To be a corporate guardian, you do have to be approved by the state, and you're approved by the state for so many people for you to provide your services for. And so there tends to be a cap there. And so we're switching this to what we've done with our CCS, where not one provider has the capacity to take all new referrals. So we're switching it to a network of providers. So we're doing a request for proposal for a network of providers, just like we are doing, and Sarah will talk about that a little bit with CCS. What we have done it in the past, we set a rate by averaging all the rates that are submitted. With that, we will be outlining insurance requirements. We've had many of you on this call have had a conversation with me about insurance this last year. So it's been some of the funnest conversations, but it's just one of those things that we've had a lot of questions on. I've gotten direction late summer, early fall. With that, we've had a special conversation with our insurance agents on what does it look like, what kind of insurance does a corporate guardian need? And I don't think we have one corporate guardian that is in compliance with the insurance requirements that have been decided upon. And so with this request for proposal, we will be requiring insurance for anyone that moves forward with us, a certain level of insurance, so that we're able to look at those expenses as a part of the rate setting for this network. So anybody that has been a corporate guardian in the past, we may need to change insurance requirements with that. So this will allow that rate setting to happen, and for the cost of insurance to be figured into that. And we hope to guardian, and I'm going to say early August. So we're in about a month, we should be releasing that. So if anybody is interested in that, feel free to reach out to me, and I will definitely let you know when we release that request for proposal. So are there any questions with that one? Okay. CCS, individual skill development, wellness, med management, and psychoeducation RFP. I believe maybe Sarah's going to speak on that one.
Yeah, hi everyone. So if we've had connect meetings, Chris and I have been priming you for this conversation, but haven't gotten to all vendors. So we're gonna say it again. We're coming in late summer, early fall. Chris and her team will be releasing the RFPs for the CCS services. If you're a vendor who is providing or may be interested in providing any one of those services, ISD, family cycle, or individual or family psychoeducation, wellness management and recovery services, or medication management for non-prescribers, there is an RFP coming out for that, and we want to take the time to say and stress to all of you and encourage you all to really take a look at that RFP document, because it will be different than what it looked like in the past. not necessarily the layout, but the information in it, especially in the first few pages where it talks about service description and let's see here. Description of type of services to be rendered. Ryan, Ellen, myself, Jess, and Alicia, both from Jackson and Monroe County, we've really been putting a lot of dedicated time and energy into this RFP for many reasons. We want to make sure that our 3 counties are aligned, so that if you're a provider who provides services in any one of those 3 counties, you see consistency in the way that we're interpreting those services and how you and the expectations we're putting on you as a provider within any of those 3 counties. Right now, it's not as consistent as it can be. So please do take a look at that. And then the other thing I want to really point out is that we have really put a lot of time and energy into better classifying and defining the difference between individual skill development and enhancement, psychoeducation, and wellness management and recovery. So right now, you may notice as a provider, if you provide ISD and wellness management, you notice that you just put both of them on your contract because like, we don't know which one. That won't be the case anymore. There will be a defined difference between the 2. And we really want you as vendors to really take a look at that RFP and read through it. But mainly the big difference is wellness management. We're looking for more of an in-depth knowledge and in-depth expertise, licensure, credentialing. There's not going to be a black and white list like, oh, if I have this credential or this license or this, it's not going to be black and white, but it is going to be some level of proof that you're demonstrating a deeper knowledge, expertise, licensure, certification, curriculum, fidelity assessments, something deeper that really connects the mind and body to the mental health diagnoses. Where individual skill development is just going to be kind of that generalist, entry level, just tangible skills of teaching somebody how to do something that they maybe didn't know before. It's not going to be a lot about connecting the brain and body. It's mainly just, you don't know how to cook, well, let's teach you. And then maybe, later on, once they get the skill down, maybe they do switch over to wellness. But anyways, I'm digressing. And then finally, physical or psychoeducation. Please take a look at psychoeducation. Ryan, Ellen, and myself, and Jess and Alicia, we're working on that one as we speak. But it's going to be different. I'm not gonna say much to how it's going to be different because we're literally in the process of brainstorming that right now. But we've got some ideas because we want to make sure that we recognize our entire vendor network and the way in which psychoeducation is being provided, while also acknowledging our diverse provider network and who provides it. So with all of that being said, I'll end with 2 things. One last thing, I really strongly encourage and invite you to read the RFP, take a close look at the services. And 2, I really encourage you and invite you to complete that budget rate setting sheet that Chris will send out, where you list out all your allowable costs. Sometimes, a lot of times, a lot of vendors don't fill it out and they just kind of accept what other vendors send it in. But the more that we have, the better representation. If anybody's a stats person, right? N size, the bigger the N, it's better representation. So the more budget rate sheets we have for each of those services, the better rate we will be able to set. And the more representative it will be for your cost. So just keep that in mind. And yeah, so thank you.
Are there any questions specifically on that?
When can we look for that to be coming out again, Sarah?
Probably end of August, beginning of September is what we're looking at there.
Awesome, thank you.
I think just an addition to, I don't know that we've talked about it outright, but I think the other thing with this RFP is this RFP for skills, wellness, and med management has been around since like the beginning of CCS, whenever that was, back when we had 10 vendors. And we've kind of, it's continued on for over a decade. And I think another element of why we're revisiting this is we've gone from 10 vendors to 90 vendors, and the service arrays have kind of been Frankensteined, morphed into something to allow various different exceptions into the network. So again, we're going back to basics to like really define, all right, here's what it should be and here's what it should look like. Again, just re-emphasizing, please read through them, because what you might notice is like skills development is a more basic level, psychoeducation's a little more advanced, wellness management is even more advanced than psychoeducation and skill development. So you will kind of see this progression of intensity, training, expertise through those three in particular.
Thank you. Okay. Next on the agenda is our 2025 rate setting. Now this would be outside of anything that's going out for RFP. And I know Paul will say that, but for a lot of you, a lot of your services will be out for RFP. There are some CCS services that will not, so that will be in this, but other rate setting that we do on an annual basis just to get all the contracts in place. So Paul will present on that.
Thanks. Yeah, I'll just run through this quick. It's hard to believe it's that time of year again already. But for, every year you'll receive your budget packet, usually get an email from me. So for those of you who are still going to be getting that, I'm just going to kind of run through some of the information, just a few reminders and things to look for as we approach that time of year. So I'm just going to see if I can share my screen. All I can see is Chris. So Chris, are you able to see my screen now? Or?
Yes.
Yes? Okay. All right. So we'll get started. So the timeline this year is I'm going to be aiming to have the budget packets mailed out to vendors the week of August 19th through the 23rd. So by the middle of next month. So I'll be doing a lot of work here in the next few weeks to get those ready for you. And then we're hoping to have those back from you by September 9th. That way we can work on those contracts this fall and get them ready for the start of the year. So sometimes vendors, they need to get an extension. That's fine. If you, email me, communicate with me, we can usually do that. Just, if you could just let me know. So we're, because we're going to be tracking which budget packets we have received. So again, we'll be sending out the packets middle of August, hoping to have them back by the 9th. And then this fall, we will prepare those contracts and get them sent to you for signature so we can hopefully have those all ready to go in place before the start date of January 1st. Some of the budget packets will be getting a CPI-U increase. We started that back in 2010 to have an automatic CPI-U increase. If you have a 3-year contract, in years 2 and 3, we will offer that CPI-U increase, and it's always going to be between 0% and 3%, and they will determine that amount. We find out that number in August. It's based on the July CPI-U numbers. So it caps at 3. So if it's ever higher than 3, that CPI-U increase would be at 3%. So we have 2 different types of budget packets then, since some are offered the CPI-U and others are not. So if you're in year 1 or year 4, which would be year 1 of a new contract, that would be considered our phase 1. So we'll send you out a spreadsheet. You can either agree to the existing rate to continue services, or we'll also include a budget request form with that in case you wanted to, propose a different rate. We base this on the state's allowable cost policy manuals, and if you feel the increases in the past haven't been enough to cover your costs, that's where you'd want to fill out that budget request form. So this is what you'll be getting from me in an email. That'll look like this. It'll list your organization and all your services with your existing rate. We'll have estimated units from our supervisor. Pretty easy. I'll send this to you in an email. You can just sign down here. Yet we will continue with this for 2025, and then your job's done. Then we'll use that to get the contract prepared and then send that to you for signature. And then along with that, this is kind of what the budget request form would look like if you felt you needed to request a different rate. We'll send you this. It's a 4-piece document. This is just the face sheet, but it will also include your salary and fringe breakdown, your expense distribution form, and your profit calculation. So this is for if you wanted to request a new rate. But if not, the slide before this that just had that spreadsheet with the signature, if you're good to continue from to 2025, that's all we would need. And then phase 2, that would be our CPIU services in years 2 and 3 of the 3-year contract. And again, we'll know that usually around mid-August, and we'll have that all factored in when we send it to you. So this is what the CPIU, this is what the phase 2 spreadsheet will look like. It looks pretty much like the other one. Lists all your services. It will have the estimated units, but we'll also have the new rate with whatever that CPIU increase would be. So with this, I'll send this to you in an email. If you can just sign it, send it back so that we agree to continue at the increase stated, and then we're good to go. Pretty easy. That's all we would need from you. So this is what it will look like when I send these out to you. Again, usually late August, hoping to have those all sent to you. Just a few items to note quick. If you have multiple contracts, you could receive 2 different spreadsheets, one for phase 2 and phase 1. Some of your services might be getting the CPIU increase and others might not. So there's a chance you might get 2. So just keep an eye out for that. And, don't think that one, there's a chance if you have 2, we need both sent back. I know there's a chance you might think, oh, well, Paul just sent me 2 of the same email, but no, it's, you could receive 2. And then in both phases 1 and 2, it will include other documents, such as room and board cost sheets if we need to do that with your organization. You will not receive one of these budget packet emails for certain services. If a service is not negotiable, if we pay a retail price, or if it's set by the state, including many of the CLTS W rates, those are set by the state. So you would not be receiving the budget packet then. Same with CCS residential rates. We set those using actual cost. We have a different system for that. Again, if you have a multi-year contract with a fixed rate for those multiple years, then you also would not be receiving a budget packet because we're all set for those years. And then the RFP. So a lot of the CCS services that Sarah just went through, those are going to be handled through the RFP process. So you would not be receiving the budget packet, as we'll handle it through that RFP. Just a few more items concerning the unit estimates. We receive the budget packet indicates the units of service projected by our managers for the following year. It's an estimate that we arrived at looking at what was purchased in the past year and what potential changes there could be. So we're using those unit estimates to figure your contract amount. So if you feel those units are off for any reason, you'll want to just let us know so we can make any needed adjustments so the contracts aren't way off. And then when you do receive them, you'll want to just review all the services, review the unit estimates, review the rates, and then again, you can just simply sign and return those spreadsheets unless you wanted to fill out the budget request form. So that's pretty much it. If you do have any questions along the way, if you get your budget packet, if you need an extension, if you're not sure about this or that, you can always send me an email. It's this time of year, the budget's pretty much most of what I'm doing, so feel free anytime. Does anyone have any questions right now?
Hey, Paul, I'm gonna, if it's okay if I jump into from
Yeah.
CCS standpoint, Paul sent me a spreadsheet with all the units for like the last year for all our CCS vendors. And so this year, if you notice that there are services that were on your contract before that aren't, or your units are less or whatever, it's just because you haven't used them based on the last year. So, and then also too with the RFP process, we're really going to be cleaning up, instead of having vendors have ISD and wellness in their contract, I'm going to really be taking a closer look at that for this upcoming contract year. And if you're a vendor generally that, you know, just looking at the providers that you have credentialed with us and their credentials, I'm not going to put you on the plan for, or give you units for ISD. If you or your provider, you're generally wellness providers, which we can work through that, but the purpose for that is it reduces the back work for our contracting team in the end. And if you're not going to use ISD as we roll out this new RFP, there's no need to approve those units. So again, if you feel, so definitely take a look at the units when Paul sends them out. But if you have questions, or if you're like, oh, why isn't ISD on there and only wellness, please reach out and let us know if that you would like them on, or you think you'll provide them, or whatever the case may be. But just wanting you to make sure you know that if there's a difference, just reach out, let us know if you have questions or concerns about it.
Any other questions on that? Okay. We're going to move forward with the Children's Long-Term Support Waiver vendor information.
Hi, this is Shelly again. So just a few little updates. For the CLTS training logs for anybody that you hire for new staff, you can send those to me this year moving forward. They used to go to Cindy or the contracting unit, but you can directly send them to me now. Whenever you have the year-end ones or any new staff that you're training and going through the waiver training. And that's Appendix 12 that gets sent when you contract with us, and every year those need to be sent in at the end of December or the first part of January for the previous year. So those will be going to me now. Just a reminder again that I usually always bring up is if you're doing daily living skills or counseling and therapeutic services, we need a 6-month progress report sent to the social worker, whoever's working with that youth. And again, we've kind of shared different templates. It can be anything you develop as well. And really just giving us a written report every 6 months per the waiver manual that states the child's progress, and indicate like any changes or recommendations of the goals they're working on. So those are the 2 services under CLTS. We need those progress reports on every 6 months. I think another thing that just I noticed had come up with a few providers is a reminder if you are in need to renew on the provider registry. Typically, DHS will send 60 days before your renewal date, they will send a reminder that you're up for renewal. And I think if you do get missed, that's when contracting unit gets brought in, or Angie or Ellen and I, so that we don't miss that renewal date of getting that updated on the provider registry. And anytime you need to make changes, you can go right on the registry and make those changes and update that. And then I think the only other thing we were going to mention today is, as many of you know, Gainwell is going to be changing from WPS to Gainwell. And there's more provider meetings coming up for you guys too. I can put those that do CLTS in the chat. And Angie, I think, is on now too. She's our lead for authorizations. So in case she wants to add anything, we have an internal one for county waiver agencies tomorrow. But here are the next provider webinars for Gainwell coming up. Angie, do you want to add anything on that?
Yeah,
I think the go live isn't really until 2025, but these meetings are basically just to kind of give you overviews of what they're developing for the CLTS claims. So they are beneficial to attend and listen to. But just know if you're not able to attend them, there will be more official training as the time gets closer to when the transition occurs. So that's about it.
Yep, that's all I had too. Does anybody have any questions on CLTS? Otherwise, that's it for us.
In the chat, it's not.
I'm sorry, I didn't get that. Did somebody just ask a question?
Through on chat, you must have sent an image rather than a picture.
Oh,
I think it's
I can-
Carrie. Okay.
I can type it in. I can type in the dates for you. I just pulled it off the GovD. I'll put that in
Okay.
there. I'll just type it in for you, okay? Thanks for letting me know.
Any other questions for CLTS? Okay, CCS.
I can
Yeah.
start, Sarah, with a little update on web services. Web services is it's a software product that La Crosse County purchased earlier this year to decrease the amount of manual entry on the fiscal side for CCS billing. The hope is that the product will streamline both the fiscal and the QA processes. I sent out an email on June 3rd to all of the vendors with more information on web services. We started using it already and so far it's going really, really well. So no big issues. It does require that all of you use our invoice template, the template that's located on the Rick SharePoint. And I mean, most of you are already using that template. So again, I don't think this means any big changes for anyone. Just a couple of things that have come up as far as the invoice template is, please don't alter the headings on the invoice template because web services is looking for those as they're processing. We also are asking that everybody use like legal names for consumers and providers. And I think the only thing that really is, we can't have any blank lines between consumers. Sometimes people want to do that just to organize and make the invoice template look better and easier to use, but we can't have that because basically the software product will think that they're done. They come upon a blank line and they think they're done with the invoice template. So as QA staff are processing all of your billing, they'll communicate out if there are any like other issues specific to your vendor, but overall it's going really well. So I guess any questions about web services?
I just want to say on the vendor side, I think I really appreciate it, and I'm sure others do as well, that the turnaround is a lot quicker now. And so it's less of stretching, the money that we do have, and we're able to utilize that and change and grow quicker. So I appreciate that it's a quicker turnaround.
And good to hear. Thanks, Stacy.
Mhm.
Bill, did you have a question?
I do, about the progress notes. Is it appropriate to use first name, last name, or are you looking for last name, comma, first name on the progress notes?
It's actually, the software itself is not looking at the progress note. It actually is just looking at the invoice template.
Got it. And that should be last name, comma, first name.
Yeah, that's a good question. I would say yes, overall. That's probably how the software package is looking at it.
Okay,
But
I'll just get that.
As we move along here, there's going to be some little things probably from each vendor, but overall, like we haven't found anything huge. So it's been good so far. And I will say on the fiscal end, this is saving hours for each invoice, like literally hours, because they were manually entering their pieces in. And so they no longer have to do that. So thanks for all the hard work on your end too. So
Great, thank you so much.
Right. Well, then I'll step in next. So again, I'm Ryan Roth. I'm one of the program soups. I'm going to touch a bit on policies and audits. We've had several in the last few months. And just kind of want to share how those have gone, kind of what themes are coming up and kind of what's happening. I'm actually going to screen share because I just did a training yesterday for a group on policies and why is CCS so complex and all these rules. So I'm just going to do just a quick overview. We get audited by 4 main entities in CCS, and they all have different scopes. So one is like a stakeholder audit, where it's like, how are we serving folks? Are we providing quality care? Are we giving our best services? Do we have appropriate staff, well-trained? What models are we using? What evidence are we using? So with that, we're looking at how consumer and family reports and feedback surveys. Many of you gave feedback on the Division of Quality and Care and Treatment Services from states. So this was the Survey Monkey that went out to all of you saying, hey, what kind of evidence-based models are you using? How many people did you serve last year? What service arrays do you provide? And it's looking more at what is the quality of service and the quality of engagement that we're having with our folks that we're supporting. There is an element of the state statutes. So there are legal codes in the state of Wisconsin that govern how programs should run. So our big one is the DHS statute chapter 36 that governs the CCS program. And there are many more that kind of feed into the rules and the regulations and the laws around what does CCS require. So things like you must have a training log with X number of hours. You must have supervision hours. You must have progress notes that contain this information. And a lot of lines about what must happen for this program to function. So can come back to that, but our big audit entity there is the Division of Quality Assurance that comes in and goes line by line through the statute code chapters to talk about, are you following this rule? We have federal laws that look at, because CCS receives federal Medicaid funding and is overseen by the federal government. So the Office of Inspector General is the big one here that comes out from Federal Health and Human Services to look at how is the program running overall? Are we being good stewards? Are we doing good support and services? And 2 weeks ago, we got a nice, lovely little email saying, hey, we're getting randomly selected for an OIG audit. And they're looking at, how did we determine they're eligible for CCS services? How are we doing assessments? How are the service plans going? What are the progress notes from all the providers associated with this case? Does it all connect into this long story that justifies us paying for a service? Does it connect back to a person's eligibility? Does it connect back to their assessed needs? Does it follow the service plan? And then we have our funding stream. So Medicaid is the big payer for CCS. So how are we spending money? For those of you that do residential services, we also throw in their state tax or local tax levy to help offset some costs as well. So we also get audits from Forward Health or Wisconsin Medicaid. We also get questions from County Board and County Administration on tax levy utilization. So a lot of input there. And that too, we get questions and random spot checks about billing practices and travel billing, service time billing. This is where the start and stop time requirements come from. So somewhere in the mix of all these is CCS. And so lots of different entities come in and say, hey, how are we doing? So to check things out. And I'm going to stop sharing that trading. But more so to talk about, in May, we got a visit from the Division of Quality Assurance. So they're looking at the statutes and are we following the program rules? And so how that went was they came in, they pulled a number of random agencies and they pulled staff files from your agencies. those of you that were involved know that you were picked because we were asking you for information and we let you know. They were looking at things like, do you have background checks done? Do you have your 2 reference letters for each of your staff? What are your degrees and your credentials? Can we prove that you have experience and knowledge in mental health? What kind of training did you get? And can we prove the quality of training that you received? Ongoing, what clinical supervision did you get? Did you have enough hours? And I will tell you that the auditor was going down to the 15-minute increments where she was like, it looks like this person billed 30 hours and 25 or 30 hours and 15 minutes. So therefore we need this many hours of supervision, and reconciled it to the supervision logs that you all turn in. So those are some of the big themes. And then we pulled several client charts in the afternoon and went through, are the progress notes checking all the boxes? Are you following the service plans, et cetera? So there's a lot of work, a lot of effort. Some of you got a lot of emails and worked with us through that. In the end, we ended up with a no findings audit, which is really incredibly rare for the auditor was reflecting for a program of our size. So kudos to all of you for keeping your documentation up to date, bearing with us. I know sometimes it gets frustrating when we say, hey, we need this before we can move forward. But the reason behind all that is because it is required. So again, thank you all. And I guess the big themes for you all to take away from that is training logs were very much looked at. How do we know that the training was of quality? Questions about how to determine between, do you do 20 hours of training versus 40 hours of training, and having to demonstrate that the staff that you hire do have mental health experience, doing mental health services, not just some sort of experience before coming in, but mental health direct care services. So again, some of you have noticed we've been asking for resumes and school transcripts more, again, to help meet that justification. The other one, just to strongly emphasize, is clinical supervision. A lot of time was spent on clinical supervision hours, looking at how many hours had been billed out and services provided, and reconciling that with having enough consultation with a licensed clinician. So again, making sure that you're keeping up on that throughout the year. I know we had a few folks who got picked that we were kind of scrambling at the end there, kind of trying to find a half hour here and 45 minutes there, just to kind of make it all work out in the end. So if you don't have a good method for that fully worked out yet, please keep working on that.
And to conclude with what Ryan was saying as well, if you notice in the last year that we've switched the way that we've been doing credentialing providers. And so there was that change where you could not bill for services until you received the credential date of your provider. And so just wanting to close that loop for you, this is why we want to make sure that our providers are credentialed, fully credentialed prior to billing, because that credential means they have all of the things that Ryan just listed off for the reasons for those audits. And then furthermore, we don't want to be reaching out to you 2 to 3 years later saying, oh my gosh, your person started and they never submitted a resume, they never submitted a reference letter or whatever, we're missing this. And you're going to respond back like, that person hasn't worked for me in 2 years. Like, how am I going to get that, right? No. So this is, so despite the headache and denied units, which I hate having to ask the QA team to deny units, but this is why. Please do not bill for services until you have your providers fully credentialed, and this is why.
Yeah, because the alternative could be that they would say, this person is not fully credentialed, please pay us back all the money for all the services the staff member provided. And we don't want to put any agency at that risk either, because we know that that would be a huge burden on many of you as well. So yes, that was DQA, quality assurance. Later in May, we also had the Division of Quality Assurance audit, or program survey as they call it, which that one again is looking at quality and types of services. So that was where I was emailing many of you multiple times saying, please fill out this SurveyMonkey to give us information back on the services you provide, types of services, evidence-based models, et cetera. So I think the theme to note with that survey review was CCS really emphasizes the use of evidence-based models and curriculums. And just to name that in the state's eyes, an evidence-based curriculum is that you have a curriculum, you have a fidelity checklist or model that can say, are you doing this, yes or no? I know there was some who were kind of reaching out with a lot of questions like, does this count? Does this count? And the question is, do you have a curriculum? Do you go back and say, here's the program manual of what session 1 should look like, what session 2 should look like? At the end of the program, I can say, here are all the steps and metrics I followed. Here's my outcomes. Those are evidence-based models. So if you don't have those, you can certainly research them. We can email out. A good starting place is the SAMHSA website. So the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration, they have many for free that are, here's the curriculum, how to implement it, here's the metrics that you can use to measure this. There are some out there that require certification and fees and fidelity markers out there as well, which could also encourage many of you as you're considering the RFPs coming up. That could be a cost considered in your budget application. Is like, hey, we are looking at a fidelity for this model, and that will cost things. So that could be a consideration. Yeah, so we had that audit, and then about 2 weeks ago, we got another spot check audit from OIG, which again is Federal Health and Human Services. Just knowing that the scope of that audit is overall, how are things going? Are we following program rules and funding? So we're not through that one yet. We have until the end of August to kind of submit what they're looking for that one. But where that impacts vendors is the big emphasis is we want to see all the progress notes, and we want to make sure that the progress notes, the interventions described in the progress notes, are following what is authorized in the plan. So not just the units, but what interventions have been listed. So if it says, hey, you're authorized to do this service, is that reflected in the note? And if it's gone outside of that scope of the plan, it may be called into question and maybe an audit finding. So just again, being mindful of that element as well. So it's a lot of things moving, a lot of people looking in at the work that we do. And again, that's where we're trying to keep up with you all, where the SharePoint site exists to give out training information, why Sarah and Christy and Chris have been working so hard to meet with you all in the regular connection meetings just to talk through some of these things and work through and problem solve these items. So yeah. So yeah, that's the general overview of the audits of recent. Again, just kind of pausing for any like questions or reflections, wonderings. So kind of to set this up and maybe hand it off back to Sarah is one of the elements that is being talked about is quality service of quality provided services within CCS. And there has been much conversation at state level about ethics and ethics of providers. And I know at our last conference, we talked about, we have been working on, or we were looking into establishing an ethics guide to come about in 2025 for the RIC consortium. So I know Sarah again has been doing a lot of hard work, kind of pulling us together through our coordination committee. I don't know, Sarah, if you want to talk about it, I could talk about it. I don't know if it matters, but so.
Keep going, Ryan.
All right, I'll keep going then. So we do have a coordination committee that governs CCS. So this is a county board subcommittee that is comprised of 1/3 of the membership is county representatives. 1/3 is community partners and business owners. So we have some providers on this call that are on that coordination committee. And then a third of it is consumers or family members of consumers who are either currently in CCS or have been in CCS. So for the last several months, we've been working on developing an ethical standards guide for staff who are not licensed by DSPS. Because if you are a social worker or a counselor or peer support, there are ethical codes out there already. But for our rehab workers or our bachelor's degrees who aren't licensed by DSPS, there really isn't an ethics guide or standard that exists. So we have been working on pulling together kind of some basic ethical guidance, a guidance document, and we're going to be formulating a training that will roll out in 2025 for you all. So one, just to give that update, but then two, also to say, if this sounds interesting to you, please reach out to us if you'd like to be part of that coordination committee. Once we finish this project, we will move on to something else. Whatever the committee decides is an area of focus that our program needs. So.
I wanted to invite you. Innovative has been on this. If Innovative, if any of the team there, if you have any input about how the RIC coordination committee has been going, but also looking for lived experience. So if you have a consumer, a past consumer, a caregiver, somebody with lived experience working with the CCS program or a mental health program, those are the voices that mean the most in this situation, because that's how that's the point of the coordination committee. So part of the two, we bring policies, we bring any changes, vendor, a lot of our RFP stuff, and what you'll notice there has been because of conversations amongst the 3 counties that we've gained through the coordination committee or from our staff who we have heard it from. So we heard it from consumers. So we really, really want to see more lived experience on the coordination committee so that we can make sure we're including their voice and perspective in some of the decisions that shape the CCS program for REC.
If you're wondering, the time commitment is an hour and a half every 2 months is our meeting schedule. Right now, it's probably asking just a little bit of extra outside time to review the drafts of the documents that we're working through, but that's kind of the time commitment component to the coordination committee. All right. Well, if there's no other questions or thoughts on that, I think our last element was just to make you all aware. Part of the again, CCS component and treatment team is a client's right to access their records. And just making folks aware, because we've had several consumers and family members requesting a copy of their records. And with that, folks get, consumers and family members get copies of your progress notes and documents that you are submitting to us. So just naming that out loud to be mindful of professional language and objective language, and just being mindful of that your notes are being read by more than just the social workers and the county team. So we've not had any issues, but it's just a general reminder that consumers can ask for copies of the records. So. Right. So I think that concludes the themes of our updates and kind of what's been going on. Yeah, if there are any other questions or conversations that may be helpful at this point.
Looks like Carrie has her hand up.
Yes.
I have a question about the ethical standards booklet. I know that it was mentioned at the last meeting, I believe, that we're going to need an ethical and boundaries training included in our training log annually. Will the training that you're talking about to go with the guide replace that, or will we still need to continue to pay for that every year?
We're still working out on the training component, but it would be an option and an offering. So it could be that you get an ethics and boundaries training outside of the consortium. We may have some offerings within the consortium as well.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Okay. Well, I just wanted to make sure everybody knows the next meeting is November 19th at 10 a.m. If you did not get an email directly from Cindy Werschke with the agenda, we send that out to as many people as we can think of for each organization. But if you could email me or the CCS Soups and just let us know that you would like to get that directly, then we ask you to RSVP a few days ahead of time. You know, if possible, we usually send the agenda out at least a week ahead of time, but usually a week and a half. So if you could RSVP, then we can just kind of get everything organized on our end, and that helps. And but just let us know if you would like to get the agenda directly, because it might just be one person from your organization that gets it. So thank you very much, and hope you all have a great summer.
I do see we have another hand up.
Yes. What day? I just have a question. My little hand raised. Oh, sorry. I just have a question about the changes to MHP supervision and what that will entail in 2025.
Oh, okay. So the changes in supervision. So with the contracts coming out, in particular skills, wellness, med management, psychoeducation, by statute 36, it is a requirement that providers have a direct access to their own, to a direct clinical supervisor. And right now, how we've been operating is that we do have our county mental health professionals facilitating group meetings for folks to come and get some of their clinical supervision hours. But that does not necessarily mean that everybody has their own direct clinical supervisor that they could go to for day-to-day guidance. So that is going to be that you will notice that in the contracts coming out in 2025, that will be a requirement that folks have a direct clinical supervisor that they either have on staff, that they have contracted with, somebody that you can go to for direct guidance and support. We will still continue to offer at this time. Our plan is to continue to offer the county facilitated groups as a supplement and a support. But yes, the extra piece of having your own direct clinical supervisor will be an ask.
Please consider the cost of that as an allowable cost when you're completing the budget sheet. So that is, so the CCS program, we will be reaching out to some of our therapists in our vendor network and giving them the option to share their name with us, which we will then compile a list that will be allowable for our vendor network to see and contact those. I'll probably get that out once we're through the RFPs, because that's my priority right now. I want to get it done so Chris and her team can take it over. So once that list is compiled, I will share it with all of you via our RIC vendor SharePoint site. And please know that all the names listed on there, we are not advocating, supporting, what's the word, promoting.
Endorsing, yeah.
Endorsing, that's the word I'm looking for. Any of the names on there, it's more so we understand that you guys are all going to need a supervisor if you aren't licensed, and we just wanted to help support you all in finding somebody and reaching out to them. And any agreements that you make with your clinical supervisor or the person, that licensed professional, is an agreement between you and them. So cost, frequency, how you meet, what's expected. That will be an agreement between you two, but that agreement needs to be in writing, and that's what we'll be looking for. Some sort of contractual document that lists who your provider, your supervisor is, maybe how frequently you're meeting or how clinical supervision looks like, signed both by you and those receiving the clinical supervision. That's what we'll be looking for. But Rick CCF, it has no part in dictating what that contract looks like. So just making that very clear. But more to come as far as who in our network would be willing to share their names for that.
Anyone else? Okay. All right. Well, thank you very much. Have a great summer.
Thank you. You too.